All right, House of the Dragon, Season 3, Episode 6, and the end of Criston Cole. I'm curious to hear what you guys think about how the Butcher's Ball was handled. I know that some book readers are going to feel frustrated that there were certain lines not used in this episode in regards to Criston Cole not having any songs of glory sang about him. Yeah, that was pretty unceremonious for Sir Criston. I think everybody would agree, and I think that's also the point. I don't think that his character was heading towards some poetic, great ending. It makes sense for it to be at the beginning to where we kind of forget about it. I know that other people who saw the episode early had commented that it seemed oddly placed, that it felt like it should be something that was done at the very end of the episode. But I think the idea behind it, and I'm not saying that I agree nor do I disagree, but I think the idea is that Criston Cole's death is not supposed to be something that the singers will write songs about. I think the idea is that it is supposed to be kind of forgettable, other than, easy layup dialogue that could have been thrown in there, and I'm not really sure why it wasn't. I don't know. Doesn't ruin it for me, but then again, if it was in there, I don't think it would have made me love the scene more. It was just this inevitable moment that was coming that I think most of us knew it was coming. So I really don't have a whole lot to say about that. I thought it was kind of interesting, the trickery there, with the Rivermen playing dead, just to kind of lure Cole and his men in there, kind of sacrificial. Considering they were incredibly outnumbered, it seemed unnecessary to sacrifice anything. They were completely surrounded. I don't think I really understand the way that played out. I don't understand the strategy of risking anybody in your army in that scenario, but it seemed interesting, or seems cool. It looks cool on screen, so I suppose that's why they did it. There's a couple things here in this episode that I just, what the hell are we doing? The Bela Allen scene, I'm sorry, was that something that was being developed? Have I been kind of asleep at the wheel here? And this is a budding romance that finally they had their first kiss? I didn't really see that. What's interesting is there was kind of a scene that suggested a potential Bela and Adam potential romance back in episode 5. So I would have, whatever. Whatever. There's people that are going to watch the show and they just see nothing wrong with it. There's people that are going to see nothing but things wrong with it. If you've got a high opinion of that scene, then I don't know. Like, you're somehow politically captured by a TV show, it seems. I don't know. It's not enough to make me hate the episode, but it just, I like it when things are earned. I like it when I feel like, okay, that had been kind of seed planted early, and now this is the payoff. So now you get that romance. I have no idea. The Rhaenyra and Jane Eyre scene, I thought was, it's kind of interesting because I don't think I like what that's trying to show or what that's trying to say for the episode or for the story. I'm not sure that I'm a big fan of it. However, I like the presentation of Jane Eyre. Like, we arrive in scene, right? You arrive late, to the scene where Jane Eyre's having somebody thrown through the moon door, and you just hear them yelling, and it's like, I don't know why. I really, it just seems like she's doing that recreationally, throwing people through the moon door recreationally. I know there's probably something behind it, but we don't know what. And I found that I don't know why. I just found that really interesting, in that she felt this power over Rhaenyra, that this is a royal princess. For all anybody knows, Rhaenyra is alive and well, and other than Daemon, she's where she's supposed to be, right? Rhaenyra has no clue. And somehow Jane Eyre feels that she's in a position where she can strike a princess. Kind of fascinating to me. Corlys Velaryon, I don't have anything to say about that. I have no idea how, like, okay, so the Hightowers knew where Corlys was, and they were able to sneak. I think they're in the Crown. I believe the Velaryons are in the Crownlands. So we've got dragons watching Tumbleton, right? So that's another question. Like, well, how did Hugh Hugh Hammer, did Ulf just allow Gwayne Hightower back into Tumbleton? I'm not sure. And then how did Hightowers make it out of there? I mean, they snuck out, I guess, as common folk. I guess it makes sense. Fine. They're smuggling people in and out, disguising them as just regular, ordinary citizens, small folk. So I suppose that's how Hightower men got out, to sneak into Corlys's camp and abduct him. I mean, how do they know where Corlys is at? Who knows? It's suggested that Ormond has a network of people within King's Landing. So the idea that he's got a network of people in the Crownlands, I'd say that makes enough sense. I don't think... I don't know. It's one of those things. Just don't think about it, guys. Just move on. Just try not to think about it too critically, and it'll be okay, as long as you don't think about it too quickly. On a high note, something I do really enjoy, I did enjoy the back and forth with Ormond and Gwayne. Not because I think it necessarily is great dialogue per se, or that these are phenomenal scenes, but I did enjoy the idea that somebody can talk to Ormond the way that Gwayne does. And I understand that they're cousins, so fine, fair enough, right? There's not the same type of boundaries as there would be elsewise. But it also does reveal that Ormond is certainly not untouchable. Revealing that this, like, sensitivity to scent is something that can totally disorient a character of his stature, or the presence that he brings. The strength, power is kind of shaken, but it's almost like a kryptonite, which makes it a little bit cheap. Or vampires seeing sunlight. It just seems like a really cheap way to subdue a character. So I'm not sure that I really like that. But it was interesting to see somebody like Gwayne, who's been to battle, where, from what we understand, Ormond and his men have not actually gone into battle yet, which makes it even more absurd when Daemon captures, one of the assassins there in King's Landing, and he calls Daron the Daring. And yet there's no reason for us to believe that Daron or Ormond and his army has had any actual conflict yet. So I don't really know, as far as like an actual battle in this war. So we're just throwing in Daron the Daring without characterizing that with Daron doing something daring. Now that I think about that, I hate it. I hate that they called him Daron the Daring. Like, let's just go ahead and scratch that. We're not following the books, so I don't need the showrunner to remind me that he read the books that he's not adapting. I don't really understand the goal behind that. Another thing, though, if we stick with the Hightowers there in Tumbleton, or more specifically Daron, and we think about the way that we're kind of getting some further development, where it's kind of implied just by his reactions, like his facial expressions, how he may or may not feel towards Ormond. But then for him to kind of explicitly state these things. So I like Gwayne being in Tumbleton. I mean, if you're familiar with the book, I mean, Gwayne, I believe, is dead at this point in the book. I mean, he dies when Rhaenyra takes King's Landing. I think, if I'm remembering, like, I've got to go look at I haven't read over that part of Fire and Blood for a while. I'm pretty sure Sir Luther is the one who kills him, stabs him. But I'd have to, if I'm wrong, call me out in the comments. Feel free. Overall, like Daemon, I guess he's kind of flipping out there. I mean, he just completely lost the gold cloaks. And we know that the gold cloaks are there in modern times in A Song of Ice and Fire, or forget the books, but in Game of Thrones, the gold cloaks are back. So, how does he reestablish that? Or is it something that's reestablished later? It's going to be fascinating to see how if they do anything there, how Daemon may establish good faith with the gold cloaks. Now, I really want to talk about Rhaenyra and Alicent, and I'm going to get to that, but something that I think is bigger and more important than almost anything is Aemond and Alys at Harrenhal, discovering that Alys has those dragon eggs, and that there's this connection between Aemond and Alys that seemingly is making it possible that these dormant dragon eggs could be hatched. It's a significant threat. I hope that it goes somewhere. I don't know, because it's so confusing with House of the Dragon. You don't know what they're actually following from the book. So when they lay certain things out, it's like, oh, okay, well, this will be really interesting. But then they go back to trying to hit these certain moments from the book and remain faithful in that way, as far as like hitting the highlights from the book. So are they introducing this element because they're going to do something really interesting with it? And maybe it's not very good, but it's something different, right? It's different from the book, and it's going to be something interesting, I think. And where are they taking it? Okay, so you reveal that to your audience. You've got to pay that off one way or the other. There's nothing in the book to suggest that that's going to be paid off. So this is where maybe David and Dan got in trouble, where they never fully went with their own ideas, but they kept pushing their own ideas in Game of Thrones, but never saw them to fruition, right? So, it's like whatever they were doing with Dorne, right? They never really explored that fully. So if you really watch Game of Thrones, Dorne is almost forgotten after season 5, right? Because the audiences didn't like it. They didn't find the Dorne plot all that fascinating. So I think that they had a bigger idea with the changes that they made to the plot for Dorne, and then they were going to go in a different direction, found out the audiences weren't really a big fan of it. This is just what I think. And then they dialed it back and made them a much smaller part of the overall story, especially heading towards the end game, where they're basically non-existent until the finale of Game of Thrones. So are they doing that? They might be here with Alys and Aemond. You can't introduce those dragon eggs are heating up and not have them hatch. I mean, right? It's like Chekhov's gun. That gun's got to go off at some point. It's got to mean something. Hopefully it does. It's not going to be, that's not faithful to the book, but I still want it to happen. Nothing about this is faithful to the book, really, other than a very, very vague, rough outline of the book. So at this point, introduce something like that, pay it off for us. I'd really like to see where that goes. But now we got to get to Rhaenyra. I feel like, honest, as critical as I might sound, and maybe I do sound critical, maybe I sound more critical than I want to, this is the Rhaenyra I've been kind of hoping to see here for a little while, where she's just so much more cold. Not necessarily dark. Some of her choices here are darker, but there's something very icy about her performance in this episode. And also, when she's talking to the small folk, again, Ryan Condal's letting us know that, the books that he's not adapting, The Princess and the Queen and Fire and Blood, he's letting us know that he read them and he's just choosing not to follow them very faithfully. Like, thanks, man. I suppose. I don't know. Whatever. I'm not that mad about that. I just don't like the decisions they're making. If they're making good changes, great. I think the Aemon and Alys thing is a good change. If we see that come to fruition, and we'll see. But anyway, so Rhaenyra, right? She cuts herself on the Iron Throne. Great. I appreciate the nod to book fans. But outside of that, Rhaenyra's demeanor is kind of really changed in this episode, especially toward Alicent. And what I find really interesting, because Alicent is probably one of the more all over the place characters, where I don't know what her motives are anymore. I don't know what really is driving her. I don't know what she wants. I know for sure she wants safety for her and Helaena, I think, even though she kind of stated to Helaena when Helaena asked her if she's doing this for her or doing it for me, and she says, what does it matter? And it's like, well, that's odd, because I felt like it's all for Helaena, because if it wasn't all for Helaena, I feel like you could have gotten out of here already. So then what difference does it make with Helaena? So it's definitely for Helaena. At least her action show is for Helaena. Otherwise, when she went to go visit Rhaenyra at Dragonstone, she could have just left then. So anyhow, Alicent and Rhaenyra's interactions. The thing that I want to say, though, about Alicent's interaction with Rhaenyra is there's this feeling that they still have this understanding. I mean, sometimes we all forget that Alicent didn't take that Caspal dagger, right? The legendary prophecy dagger, and try to stab Rhaenyra or come after Rhaenyra or lunge at Rhaenyra, as if that didn't happen, as if Rhaenyra didn't openly hate Rhaenyra for the better part of after episode 5 of season 1, basically until episode 10. But then you gotta keep in mind there's this huge time jump, right? So we're talking, I forget how long that time jump was, from the time they were kids until they grow up. I don't remember specifically, but we're talking about years, like lots of years, that Alicent hates Rhaenyra, right? And then in episode 8, right, we all remember episode 8 of season 1, and we all think that's a great episode, right? And it's mostly because of Viserys, Lord of the Tides, that episode. But for whatever reason, Alicent has a change of heart kind of right then and there, and it doesn't really make any sense. She's like, girl, go take the kids home, and then you come back and visit, and we'll all stay up late and have drinks. We'll play cards while the kids sleep. But, it's kind of like that attitude. And I don't really know what really shifted there, but ever since then, like, Alicent's really been all over the emotional spectrum here towards Rhaenyra. And in this episode, it shows up again where she's like, wait, you can't make me, don't do this, Rhaenyra. Don't make me be a part of having Aemon killed. Because that's how I took it. And then she's like, well, I can't leave Helaena here. So is it about Aemon, or is it about Helaena, or is it about both? Probably about both. I'm not really sure. But this is a major change, sending the show off into a totally different trajectory. Helaena seems really jacked up. We're not really sure what's going to happen with her. It looks like they're trying to... spoilers, in the book, she kills herself. So I don't know if that's going to happen here, but the reasons it happens in the book is due to something that they didn't bring over from the book. So I don't know what's going to happen here. I have no clue. But Helaena is just demonstrating this much more unstable version of herself, and it seems so much more intimate, these interactions that we're seeing with Helaena in this episode, almost more so than what we've gotten with her character in the entire series so far. And it's another situation where, man, this show really would benefit for having 10 full episodes per season. And then at the same time, the people that are really critical of this show for show reasons, not the people that are critical due to it not being faithful for the book, But the people that are just general audiences that are not a fan of the show, a lot of their criticisms is all that this feels like filler, this feels like it's dragging. So if we spent more time investing in these characters, there's a good chance that these people would complain. And maybe the writers are aware of that. And maybe they should be, because I don't think that a lot of our audiences have much of a patience anymore for character development. I think they like to just imply what they think the characters are thinking or feeling without the characters actually showing you what they're thinking or feeling. And I'm not talking about exposition either. I'm just talking about experiencing the character, watching their emotions. A lot can be said without saying the thing so blatantly. And I don't know if the show's really doing a very good job of that. So maybe if we had more extended scenes with Helena and really getting a better understanding of where she's at psychologically and emotionally, maybe it would be too heavy-handed and that would ruin it. I don't know. But I just like to see them be more patient with their character development. In this episode specifically, I feel like Helena kind of got that a little bit more. I just feel like we're playing catch up. Like, has she always felt this way? Like, what was going on with her character before, and when did these... It's like the Bela and Alan thing. You just threw that at us. At least to me, that's how I felt. And maybe other audiences have been predicting this. Maybe other people have been watching the show and they thought this was coming, and it's been telegraphed all along. It seemed like totally out of left field to me. But anyway, I don't know how Alicent views Rhaenyra. I still don't know how Alicent views that relationship, where I know I can see Rhaenyra kind of pulling back from Alicent as far as being affectionate or as far as being compassionate in any way, right? There's nothing that's soft or gentle about the way she's approaching Alicent anymore, and it's progressively getting worse. And so we're seeing a trajectory, a natural trajectory that doesn't seem like it's getting interrupted anytime soon. With Alicent, everything she feels about Rhaenyra seems up and down. It's just such... I don't know how she views her. I thought at the end of episode 2 that when Alicent walks in to see that Rhaenyra had killed Otto Hightower, killed Alicent's father, I thought that was going to be a breaking moment for Alicent, and it's just not. The consistent "I need to kill your sons" I thought would be a breaking moment for Alicent, and it's just not. I don't know when is enough for Alicent that she's going to flip out and be like, oh man, you know what? Actually, Rhaenyra is probably just kind of evil. I don't know when that moment's going to come. And then for Rhaenyra, the fact that she had that much patience up to this point anyway is kind of absurd, considering, both of your sons are dead. And it's all because of the plotting of your best friend since you were kids, but it is because of her plotting. And I understand that the Greens were already kind of scheming behind Alicent's back. However, if Alicent as queen really, like, she could have tried to leverage her power, and once she got her hands on Aegon before anybody else, I mean, things are different, right? If you go back to Renly, I remember, I don't know if he said it in the first book or not, but I remember him saying it in season 1 of Game of Thrones. He who holds the king holds the kingdom, right? Remember that? So I don't know. I just feel like there's things that are just so uneven with Alicent, and which sucks, because as far as the portrayal of the character, and that's for most characters, I feel great about the acting for most characters. Some of the side characters, I don't know, but a lot of it has to do with, like, I don't know what they're being given to work with. Hugh Hammer, I thought, I don't know really what to think about him. I don't have enough time with him in that relationship. It just seemed odd to me that his wife would just be kind of appalled to see him and almost disappointed. And she suggests that she was assaulted on her trip from King's Landing to Tumbleton. And, right, maybe she was. But, it's like, oh, okay, well, if you endured all that and then your brother died, like, what are you actually living for anymore at this point? We don't really know. But now here's your husband. He's saying, hey, there's something he can do about this. And he's fighting for the other guys, right? I mean, the Hightowers are occupying your home. They're the bad guys, right? Well, the animosity towards Hugh is insane, or it seems like it. But it looks like this will be the turning point for Hugh if ultimately his wife rejects him. Then now he's got nothing to lose. And then Ulf, I mean, it's really heavy-handed. I mean, he's being picked on. He's being picked on and just insulted every step of the way. And he is goofy, and he's not necessarily a guy that you want to anoint to any high house or anything like that. But, I mean, they are like kind of bullying the dragon seeds. And I feel like they would be mistreating Adam of Hall as well. But for whatever reason, we seem to feel that he's unnecessary to the show. I mean, he's a dragon rider. I feel like all dragon riders in the Dance of the Dragons, right, seems important to have them on the screen, but I guess not. I don't know. I'm not really sure what kind of show this is anymore. I don't know what the story that they're trying to tell. If you want my overall opinion about this episode, it was okay. It was all right. Criston Cole dying is a highlight. It was unceremonious, and I think it was supposed to be. The biggest thing really is Rhaenyra compels Alicent to try to betray Aemond, and she sends Alicent away to Harrenhal to set Aemond up to be killed. And we'll see what happens, because the previews kind of show their first interaction, and you have Alys warning Aemond that his mother's there to do him harm. So I don't know. They kind of spoiled that a little bit with the teaser, I guess. I don't know if it's really, who knows. They can be pretty clever with the teasers. All right, guys, that's all I got right now. I don't have anything written down. If you didn't, like, this is the raw take, unscripted. I don't know. These are just my first thoughts. I'll talk to you guys here soon. Hopefully I'll have something a little bit more clear and definitive to share with you next time. Thank you for watching.